Hello my loves, welcome to my channel. My name's Hannah. The first time I did this money spell, I woke up to an email from a freelance writing job I had done a few years back, offering me work and offering to pay me 3,000 American dollars. The second time I did this money spell, I woke up to a tarot client. My husband pulled in a client. I got a tax rebate of $2,500, and I wasn't even planning on doing this tax return. I did it because of some instance that wouldn't have happened. And I made $1,400 at a tarot festival, at a witches festival. So, needless to say, I have big hopes for this money spell. So this is the money spell I'm sharing with you today. So, I'm working with the moon today. We're going to be working with moon magic, which is my favorite magic, moon magic. I love it so much. So the moon has her cycles, right? She goes from the new moon, where it's like creative and artistic outbursts. It's really good times to launch new projects, to socialize, to move your body. Then she comes into the full moon, which is all about abundance, celebrating what you've achieved, and then rest and reflect and regroup, and then we start over again. There's much more detailed account of it. I've wrote an article about it. I might film a video about it. If you're watching and you would like that, comment below and let me know. But essentially, if you follow the moon cycle, especially for women, because we are very tied into her, you'll really be able to work with your body and sync up much more with a natural cycle, not a very rigid phallic cycle that we currently all live in that doesn't allow us to rest. There's times when you can really be social, there's times when you really should be resting, there's times when you should be moving your body, there's times when you should be launching new projects. That's all in there. But today I'm going to focus on money magic, and I'm going to focus on the full moon. The full moon is the perfect time to do money magic. So, all you need for this spell, it's very simple. You don't have to go out and find some, things that you can't get your hands on. All you need for this spell is a cup that you drink tea in. I've got this one that my mum gave me. A handful of mint. So I would get more mint than this, but we're in winter, so our mint's kind of going to seed. So I just grabbed what I could get. And then some cinnamon. This is actually nutmeg, but we ran out of cinnamon. So that's all you need in terms of your herbs and spices. I use cinnamon and mint because they are very much associated with prosperity and wealth, right? You can also use rosemary. Rosemary is a really good one to pull in because it's abundant, right? Rosemary is like a weed. It grows everywhere. So that's a really good energy to pull in. So think about, cinnamon as well. Cinnamon was like the epitome of wealth at one time, like cinnamon, it was so exotic. Mint is very much associated with prosperity. So think about what you're using, right? And the other thing you need is coins, a handful of coins. I've got this in a money box and I'll explain why in a minute. I've also got some cash, but a handful of coins, the more the better, right? Then the last thing you need, which is fundamental for the spell, is the spell. So I'm not going to tell you a spell, because a spell has to be very authentic, intentional, and more importantly, you really need to feel the spell. So you really need to write it. It needs to be your words, right? It needs to come from you. 3 questions I would focus on when writing a spell is: why do you want more money? What do you want to do with that money? And how are you going to make that money, right? So for instance, why do you want that money? So you might just need some extra money. I need some extra money for the bills. I need some extra money because things are tight. What I'm going to do with it, like where I want to put it, I'm going to put it here. I want to also be indulgent. I want to spend it on a new handbag, or I want this for my kid, or I want this, or I want this, or I want to funnel it back into the community. I want to buy my friends art. I want to feel abundant. And how, right? So I want to make it for instance, from my tarot reading. I want to make it from clients. I want to make it from doing what I love. I want it to be a surprise. I want it to be like a gift of a lot of money coming from somewhere, a windfall, you don't have to, this is just, things like this is what you're thinking about. And I always get it to rhyme. It's just something for me. I always have rhyme zone up when I'm writing a spell, and it feels like it gives it the incantation more rhythm. It flows easier, and I think you really want that. It's almost like a song poem, if you will, a spell. Writing spells are so much fun as well. So It really needs to come from your heart. You really need to ask yourself those 3 questions: why, what, how, and put that into it, right? Put that into it. I'm really sorry. I've got a bit of a cold, so my nose is really sniffly, and I apologize for that because it's gross. But so put that into your spell, you know? Speak from the heart, you know, and put that in, because when you say the spell out loud, you really have to feel it, right? So this is the most important part of a spell. You have to feel it. Where intention goes, energy flows, right? And it's so true. The more attention you put on it, the more you can really feel it through your body, the more likely it is to come into fruition. And you can only really feel that if you've written it, you know, if it's come from a place of authenticity and of your heart, right? So the spell. What you're going to do is you're going to wait for the full moon, right? We just had the new moon, so in 2 weeks or so, the full moon will be there. If you can see the full moon, this is a really, really big advantage. If you can't, no biggie, but just make sure it is a full moon. At our house, the sun sets at the west, at the back, and the moon comes up in the east at the front. So we do our spells on the front porch. We can see the moon. It's really spectacular. You also put your spell materials out, you know, so if you can see that they're like under the moon, it really makes a difference. But if you can't, no worries, not everyone's going to be able to. Just make sure it's a full moon. Wait till it's nightfall. This is important, and be outside, right? So all you've got to do is get your teacup with its mint in it, and you're going to dust it with the cinnamon, right? And you're going to put that outside somewhere, preferably under the full moon, right? And then you get your coins, and you're going to put them beside the cup, right? Just like that. You can put them in a money box, or you can put them in a little pot, or you can just put them freelance, but just next to it, outside under the moon. Then you're going to say your spell, right? I say my spell always 3 times. I say it with my husband. There is power, obviously, in connection, in community. That's why witches have covens, you know, with your roommate, with your best friend, your lover, your sibling, your dog, or by yourself, you know, whatever. And you can pull in your ancestors, but like, you know, there's power in numbers. And like I said, really say it like it's already happened. It's really good also to even write the spell like that, like write it in like past tense, like it's already, the money's already there, you know what I mean? And that's how you have to feel it. You have to feel it like that money is in your hand. That money has just gone into your bank account. You know, you've just checked your bank account and you're like, yeah, baby, you know? All you're doing is you're tapping into a timeline where you already have that money. Everything is happening at once. Everything is happening at once. So all you're doing is tapping into a timeline where you already have that money, really feeling that and bringing it towards you, you know? That's what I'm doing. That's what you're doing. But really make sure you feel it, yeah? Feel it like it's happened. This is so important when you do any kind of spell work. It has to be a full body experience, you know, and it has to be felt. Mind, body, spirit, you know? So say your spell 3 times and then leave the cup and mint with cinnamon with the money outside all night, yeah? And just really have that vision of like the moon showering her power like into this space, right? In the morning, you get your teacup with the mint and the cinnamon, possibly cold from being out night on a winter's night, possibly warm, but depending what season you're in. And then you boil hot water in the kettle, pour it in, and you're going to drink it, right? So drinking it as well, where attention goes, energy flows. You are drinking this spell. You're drinking this moon magic, this moon power, this prosperous herbs of mint and cinnamon. And it's like, it makes you a money magnet, right? You're like a money magnet. You're bringing that energy in. Then you're going to get your coins and you're going to get a money box, a homemade one or you have one. And you're going to put a coin into that every day, right? Every day you're going to put 1 coin into. So the more coins you have, the better. But this is like accumulation of wealth, right? It's very much like, again, where attention goes, energy flows. It's like every day you're putting in more money. You're calling in more money. Yeah, this repetitive, I'm calling in more money, you know, and my energy's here, yeah? So that's it. It's really simple. Like I said, it's worked for me twice in quite big occasions. And then you go into surrender. I always feel like this with spells. Not all the spells I've done have necessarily come true in what I've asked for, but like I always trust and surrender that the universe has my higher self's best intentions, right? She knows what's best for me. She wants me to thrive. I am star. I'm stardust. It's like she wants me to thrive. Who said it the other day? God wants. God wants us all to thrive. God wants the best for all of us, and it's the same as the universe. Universe is God, God is the universe. Whatever you believe, the earth, whatever. But they all want their children to thrive, right? So you have to accept and surrender that there is a greater plan. Ask for what you want or what you need, and then surrender. That's really spell work, right? So you have the tools that you're working with, the herbs that you're working with. You write the spell from a place of intention, from integrity, from authenticity. And like I said, it can be indulgent. Like, I want $2,000 because I want a new pair of shoes. You ask for what you want. And if the universe is like, no, that's not what I'm going to give you. Okay, no worries. Well, I want this. That's what you're doing. That's what spell work is. And you're working with the elements to pull that in. It's attraction. It's abundance. You're attracting abundance. So you're going to practice the spell. You're going to do it at the right time in the season. So for this instance, on a full moon at nighttime, and then you're going to surrender. So I want to talk about the moon cycles in more detail. So if you are watching and you would like to see that, comment below or like the video. Let me know, and I'll do a video in depth of the moon cycles from the new moon to the full moon, back to the new moon, and everything that comes into that, and how you, especially around businesses, and how you should be forming your projects, but also socialization and relaxing and things like that. But if anyone does the moon magic, the spell magic in the next couple of weeks when the full moon comes, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. And I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you soon. Thank you.